Okay, so let's talk about Family Album. So what's on my mind about Family Album has to do with autobiography. And autobiography being used as one of the artist's components to making art. Now, in some ways, all art is autobiographical in a way, right? And all art is also situated in the time it was created. It just has to. You're using of yourself. That's part of the artist's impulse. That's what I'm paying you for. It's like, how are you feeling about right now? And you're going to show me in a very creative, formal way, which is called art, right? Different than life, which is sort of formless, according to Arthur Miller. That was the big difference, right? In this particular play, Family Album, and this artist, Stew, in particular, along with his collaborator Heidi Rodewald, he often uses autobiography to make his stories. And it's not a far leap to think of somebody writing a rock song having personal connections to, whether you know the actual story or not. There's emotion, right? Rock and roll has emotion about it. It's driven that way, right? Railing against or talking about or expressing in that sort of rhythmic, electronic form, right? And so thinking of expanding those stories into sort of dramatic art form, and then you can see where he would in some ways just take from his own life and expand that. So he's had an opportunity to examine a kind of story in his own life. Now, whether this actually happened to him, there are remnants of things that are actually true about him touring, them being at a house like this, you know, having these kinds of conversation. But what's sort of beautiful, he's also at a certain point in his career, you know, the aging rocker in a way, right? And looking back and looking forward, and what is that? What did he miss out by being so focused on and giving that sort of joy and expression and point of view to people? In sort of what's the cost of that versus sort of another road that might have been more domestic, maybe more secure. I think we all have gone through those crossroads in our lives. And so I find it very, very moving. And so there's a little bit built in, whether you know it or not, it just feels there's a little bit of sort of like truth. There's this layer of truth kind of built into the play just because you know that it's coming from personal experience. Not literally, but just sort of the feeling of it. And I think that's what's really potent about the play.